into the ring. I'm a king. I see you coming my way. I ain't worried about a thing.
All right, guys, it's Memorial Day weekend, so thank you to all our veterans, all our serving people. It really is a special thing that those people do and have done, and all the people in the past. So thank you to those people. So obviously it's pouring rain. I usually go camping Memorial Day weekend. That's not going to happen. Canceled the trip last week. Nobody could go. It's also just freezing cold and raining, so I'm glad I didn't go. So we're going to spend the whole day in the shop. I got my dad coming down to help me, so I'm just gonna try and film like a really cool montage, B-roll, some time lapse with the GoPro here, and we'll see how far we can make it. There is some pieces to the puzzle that I don't have, but I think I have a lot where I can get as far as getting my steering mocked up. I would really want to try and get the links on today. I want to get the motor mounts done. A couple trips to the hardware store I'm sure are gonna happen today, so it should be a good day. Got a full day. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. Got a full day. It's a Saturday, so should be a good day. It is just not nice out there, I'll tell you what. Alright, so we're running into a little issue with the motor mounts where when you could go to try and get this bolt out, it's 6 inches and it hits the AC compressor. So I think we're gonna back it out, chop it, and replace it. What's up, guys? It's actually the next day now. Not really feeling a $5 coffee today, so a quick stop at 7-Eleven will do the trick. It's just still rainy and cold. It's just kind of such a shame. It doesn't feel like Memorial Day at all. So I'm gonna go down to the shop. I'll fill you guys in on what we did yesterday. I might be able to do some light work this afternoon. We'll see. So yeah, let me get down there and then I'll talk to you guys again. All right, guys, so we're here in the shop. Yesterday, well, my main goal over this whole weekend was to be able to cycle the suspension, but it's honestly incredible how long this type of stuff just takes. It's so, well, I'm taking my time with it. I want everything to be as close to perfect as possible, and so that just takes a lot of time. So yesterday, I had my dad down here helping me center up the control arm brackets. Pretty much we got the axle centered based on that. This plumb bob is actually not good right now, but we had it pretty good yesterday. And then I'm using the lower brackets that were already on the axle to kind of line these up. And we had those lined up pretty good on both sides. I used my triangle to mark where the body mount was. And from this line to here, we have 1 inch. So at least I had that for reference on both sides. And then obviously I have the links set both to 33 inches center to center. So that helps with that as well. Then you just gotta watch like which way that bracket is pointing. It's really not gonna be the end of the world if they're not like perfectly pointing straight. But it is nice because when you get down to full droop and not necessarily stuff with this thing, but you don't want any binding with the brackets. So this is the simple side. And over here, obviously you got the lower end again, same idea. And then now I have a way better idea of where my upper link is going to be able to go. Obviously we got room down here for that bottom plate. This is the plate for the upper that wraps around the frame. Here is the whole upper bracket thing. And then let's see if I can get in there and show you my clearance with the drive shaft. She's tight, real tight in there. So my main goal was to get the suspension to be able to cycle because I'm worried about left and right movement of the axle and therefore the drive shaft contacting that upper bracket. So basically what I need to do now from here on out is work on my steering. I need to get a track bar in to make the suspension able to cycle accurately. And to do that, I need to get my drag link in, because I need to set my drag link where my steering is going to be straight and at whatever angles it's going to clear, and then I need to match that with the track bar. So that's going to be my next few steps. But so also yesterday, what we got into was these motor mounts. These are the more bomb-proof motor mounts. They look really pretty in there. I think I'm actually going to get their raised bracket for the steering shaft as well, because this is quite a steep angle. And I actually had this whole bracket off. I replaced the hardware and everything, and I painted it, and it's still just, I don't know, it's kind of ugly. I did beat up my steering shaft quite a bit, but it's not a big deal. So got the more bomb-proof motor mounts in. I actually have to order a longer bolt. Couldn't get one at my local store. But we got to watch with this is the factory bolt. When it backs out, it hits the AC compressor, so we had to chop that and get a new bolt. But I wanted to replace the hardware anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. And then on the passenger side, ran into a dilemma. It's so much easier to get to this side, but on this side you have this big bracket thing over here. I don't really know what it does. I'm assuming it kind of helps fight with the torsion of the axle. So underneath you have this bolt here, obviously, and that's set within the bracket, so it can't spin or move for you. That goes through the hole, and I'm probably not going to be able to get under there with the camera. Yeah, it's kind of there. You can see the bolt sticking out. There's not enough room there. There's not enough room under there to get the nut, because there's like another head of a bolt for that big OEM bracket thing. So I'm not really sure what I'm going to do about that quite yet. I think I'm just going to do some sort of homemade bracket off the side. I'll do some sort of bracket that comes like down and around, and I can bolt it into like this side, or come down and go through the whole thing. Just something. I definitely need something more than just the one bolt. So yeah, but she looks really pretty in there. And the biggest thing about doing the motor mount lift is, well, I knew I was going to do a body mount lift. So generally most people do a motor mount lift too, and that'll allow me to tuck up my transmission quite a bit. And then so my clearances on the upper arm here are so tight with where this hose comes in. It's kind of hard to see in there, but that's the bracket there. And it comes up, it's actually going to hit the lower radiator hose, so I'm going to do something about that. But it will actually hit the AC compressor up there too when it comes all the way up. So my main thing was I wanted to be able to have the AC compressor set in stone where it's actually going to stay, because that's attached to the engine, which I now lifted 1 inch. And that way I can tell where this bracket is going to go and where it's going to contact things. And now I'm ready to do that at full stuff. And so, I mean, on paper, well, not really on paper, spoken word, it's steering, track bar, coilovers, but we all know there's going to be a lot more work involved with that. And this is where a lot of the fabrication is going to come in, which I'm pretty excited for. I'm really just loving being able to weld. I don't know, just something about it's just really gets me fired up. So yeah, good progress on this thing. I might mess with the upper link here today. Kind of want to trim this up a little bit more pretty, round down these really sharp edges, and then get a tack welder too on there. And other than that, that bracket is tacked onto the axle. So I mean, we're not in bad shape here. Not in bad shape. I also got to set my pinion angle before I do anything with that. So yeah, there's your update. Big progress. I mean, we finally have links on the front axle. That's a big step. There's water dripping in the shop. It freaked me out. Yeah, so I'm going to enjoy some coffee and take a look at this thing, play some music, and film you some B-roll. And then I'll talk to you guys in a few minutes.
Your luck, shining like a moon ring. I can hear you chit-chatting. I'm high on catching your drift, melting down the black top, sticking to my flip flop. Gimme that heat. Looking for the action, causing a reaction. I just want the style like living in your moment, loving how you own it. I just want the style like nobody got style like you.
Oh, I forgot to mention something. So on these lower control arm brackets, these are the ones from Artec. They're really freaking cool looking for one. They have a nice taper in there. I kind of like that idea. They have a nice skid plate on the bottom. They look a lot cooler for one. And then something I did to add a little bit of strength, because they actually overhang on the inside. Hold on, let me get a light. Something I did up there is I added that plate right up there. That is actually welded to the top of the control arm bracket. And so that's going to allow me easier access to weld the bracket on. And it'll get me more surface area on the frame itself, because there's really not a lot. You'd be able to get this side, but there's no way you're getting your welding torch in here with the exhaust. So at least you have that little extra little bit now with that plate. And then on top of that, it just helps me line up the bracket as it comes on and off a bunch. There's something staring me in the face at the phase that I'm in, and that is the control arms that I have built. I just have these tacked on, but I never beveled the DOM, so you got that weird angle there. So I'm actually going to put a bevel around the outside of this so I get a nice good contact patch. Kind of sucks that I had to cut into this stuff, but you'll never be able to see it once it's all welded up. Definitely don't recommend this hole. Definitely don't recommend doing this at home, but hey, it kind of works pretty well. So there we go, we got a nice bevel. That'll just allow me to have more surface area, because there is going to be a lot of stress on this joint here. So, oh yeah, that's so much better to be able to get in there so much easier with the torch too. So, sweet. Alright, so I got all my arms back in. I laid a lot of welds actually. I did one pass on each like flat spot of the bungs on the arms. I put the nice bevel in them, so those look much better on here. They're going to be much more sturdy as they sit right now. I did a lot of finish welding on the upper third link bracket. I did some finish welding on the lower bracket on that plate on the inside. So yeah, we're looking really good under here. So yeah, I think I'm kind of happy with where the upper link is sitting right now. So I think I'm going to lay a couple tacks on the frame bracket. So that way that's set in stone and I can set my pinion and caster for good. It's looking a little bit low right now, but I know I have a bunch of adjustability and it's all out of whack from me going around it. So part of me actually thinks that right now I might put some steering stuff together and see what I'm working with. Alright, well I got the place cleaned up. Turned out to be quite a bit more eventful of a day than I was planning on, but I'm glad I took advantage of the time that I have. I went over everything before and that was really nice. So now that I'm cleaned up, I did break out some of the steering. This is just a leftover metal cloak tie rod that I had, which I'm probably going to end up running for a bit. It works and there's no reason to replace it if I can help it. And then up here, this is just a piece of DOM. I might actually go to aluminum. We'll see, but I have this DOM, so I might as well use it. And I did get RPM tie rod ends. And I'm pretty sure in one of my videos I mentioned that this is actually my stock TJ Pittman arm that we flattened in a press. So that looks pretty good. And I think by putting the tie rod end on top, I'll have enough room for everything to be happy. I'm obviously going to go on top of the knuckle over here as well. And I'm going to have an offset tie rod end, which I already have, but it's going to go something like that. So I'm right over the tie rod. It looks really nice. and I'm happy with my angles. What's going to be interesting is my clearance to the frame here. That's the biggest thing I got to watch out for. I'm probably going to have to do some sort of clearance there in the frame, which kind of sucks, but also it's a very common thing to do when you're doing these JK axles. So that is really close, actually. I'm debating now. Now would be the time for me to go to Reed Racing Knuckles and do high steer. Like now, like I should order them today. But otherwise, we're looking pretty good under here. I think I probably should just go to high steer because one, it's going to look so much better. It's really going to complete the look of this Jeep. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how things are going now. Got all this stuff in here. So yeah, still got another day. Tomorrow is Memorial Day proper. I don't know if I'm going to come down here, but at least I can edit this video and get it up. So one thing I wanted to update everybody on in this video is actually I'd rather be wheeling. So let me put the camera down. So the biggest updates with I'd rather be wheeling is I completely redesigned the logo. Yeah, it looks similar, but I downloaded a program and learned how to do all that stuff, and I made a bunch of changes. So first off, for anybody that's actually worn one of our t-shirts or sweatshirts, it felt like a big patch on you. There was just so much ink, and it was like my least favorite. I literally don't buy t-shirts because of that. So I wasn't happy with that at all. Second of all, I wasn't happy with the actual physical garment that it was printed on. So here today, I'm wearing the new hoodie. This is actually a sample, that's why the logo's on the front. But this is an independent mid-weight hoodie, and holy cow, this thing is comfy, miles above what we had. So I think these are actually going to go under our premium line, and then we'll have a cheaper line, which is that original stuff. So as far as the logo, I don't know what the camera is looking at, but I was able to kind of round out the roll bar a little bit. I deleted the whole background because before it was printed black inside the logo. Now that is just the black of the sweatshirt. We had multiple different blue colors, so I made it all blue. We added more detail to the tires. I switched the angle of the glare on the windshield. I switched the angle of the headlights to look more like my truck lights. My bumper looks legit. For anybody curious, this actually is a picture of my Jeep, but it's so much better now, and it's like it doesn't feel like a patch that was like heat transferred on. So much better. T-shirts as well. We went with next level T-shirts. We got the same logos on there. And obviously, we're going to do the I'd rather be wheeling on the front, and then this logo on the back. But these are just so much better. I'm so much more happy and much more proud to say this is something that I created and I'm selling. So as far as when we're going to go live, I went to the bank yesterday for my personal stuff and talked to them. I need to fill out a couple forms and get back there and then set up our money routing stuff because I'm trying to do this legit. I'd rather be wheeling is going to be legit. It's not just going into my bank account for my own good. This is funding a passion of mine and a dream of mine. So every purchase will go to many things. It's not just going into my bank account. So there's your update for that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for watching all the videos. If you make it this far, thank you so much. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.
You're getting me all worked up. Rhythm of your hip swing, dropping my heartbeat. You hook me with the velvet rope. People lined up, wanna look, but they can't touch. Ooh, give me that heat.